Welcome back to RLTV. Today, we have the privilege of hearing from Ken Thompson, a true Ruppert veteran with an impressive 38 years with the company. With his wealth of knowledge and his talent for sharing it, Ken offers us an incredible opportunity to learn directly from his experience. In this episode, we're calling the Ruppert Way. We'll explore some of the core cultural principles that shape our success. Ken will focus on two key concepts, closing the loop and how A, B, and C time planning can help us operate more efficiently. Let's dive in and hear from Ken.
Well, one of the things that makes Ruppert's culture so valuable is that we worked with a contractor, a consultant, back in the early 80s, Clyde Vadner of Organizational Development Associates, and that's where we were introduced to the closed loop philosophy. And basically it's a pretty simple structure. You come up with a plan, you implement that plan, and you get a reaction, or get an act. That's how pretty much everybody does it. But the closed loop comes around from the bottom and gives you three more principles. One, you measure everything. Keep data, and when you can, use the people you're managing's data. For instance, if you're tracking labor, let them track the labor so that they own the hours, or the field manager owns the hours if an employee is short. Makes a much better process. And then you take out what's bad, what didn't work well, and throw it to the side, and then do more of what got you good results. And then you start to plan right back all over again. The most important thing about the closed loop is just to philosophically adopt that mentality so that you can have continuous improvement. If you do that, it just gets going better and better and better. It's like a turbocharger bringing oxygen into the motor. It just makes it go faster, and you get great results. You inspire people, and it's kind of self-perpetuating once you kind of fall into that culture. The closed loop comes into play, again, just about every day, in small things and in big things. And another way to implement that closed loop is to use what we call A time, B time, and C time. A time is planning, B time is doing, and C time is fixing. And there's always a certain amount of fixing to do. It can be new change orders, changes in the job, changes in the maintenance schedule. Could be a lot of different things, but there will always be a certain amount of C time. The goal would be to, through more planning time, have the opportunity to do more doing time, and then where you come up with that time is to cut down on your C time. That's A time, B time, C time. And in general, 10% of A time, 80% of B time, and 10% of C time is about right in the contracting industry. If it's a medical industry and you're a brain surgeon, it's going to take a lot more planning. But in what work we do, those are kind of recommended percentages. And you can fight and say, hey, there's 12% planning versus 10% or 8% of planning. But in general, those we ask you to kind of accept those so that we can at least have a conversation. The better you do planning, the better you're going to have results. The most interesting thing is when people just want to get started on things. So we want to build things. We're contractors. We want to make them look good. We want to build them. And we have to fight the urge to just start the job. I always ask people, who reads directions? Who bought a car and read the owner's manual from front to cover? And we're in a class of 50 people. I'll get one person to raise their hand and say, I do. And I think they're probably not being truthful. But I never read the directions. And if I buy a bicycle, I'm going to put it together 5 times, and I could probably do it faster if I would just schedule some A time to plan it or read the directions. So you got to fight that urge, because we're all busy, we're always behind in schedule, and you got to make time to plan. And then once you have that plan and you implement it, then you bring in the closed loop. So the two concepts are tied together.